odds are increased that President Obama has a second term, if Alan is right. Is that the economy is in good a shape? Is the healthcare, the taxes that are going to go, as I was pointing out, the taxes start first, the mandates start later. And they don't start until 2014. So there's 2012, when the election was on President of the United States, there's still no mandates in place. We're not collecting taxes from the average, working person at that point. The taxes that are being collected, as Alan pointed out, are on wealthy businesses, not on the average. So the average person will not see a tax increase, will not have a mandate, have seen changes that will generally be perceived as positive in the insurance market, things like eliminating the pre-existing conditions and the like, so that by the time the president gets to the point of getting reelected. On the Republican side, wide open field. I personally don't see anybody under the age of 24 voting for Newt Gingrich. I just don't see it. If you tell me they're going to vote for Newt Gingrich, let me know, okay? And I'll do bless his heart. He's trying to organize in new and different ways. And, a lot of polling, he's hot stuff. But I just don't see him voting for Newt Gingrich. Do I see them voting for Sarah Palin? I don't see them voting for Sarah Palin. Who's that leave you with? A lot of people, actually. And so I think on the Republican side, it's wide open for what it will be. I think if things are bad, you're going to want to vote for the Republican that you think can not undo it, but make it okay. I mean, we're not, look, if you think we're repealing health care, get off it. We're not repealing health care. The only way this is not going to be is if for some reason the Supreme Court does something that I don't expect them to do. And say at the end of the day that there's something essentially unconstitutional about it. We're never going to do it legislatively. Until 2012, we got a President of the United States is entitled to veto legislation. It would require legislation to veto, to undo what we got now. Even if you have Republican Senate and a Republican House, you have to have a 2/3 majority. We're not going from 59 Democrats in the Senate to 68 Republicans anytime soon. Let me tell you, no matter what you think, it's not going to happen. So the legislation, so for those who say we're repealing this thing, if it makes you feel good to go out and say, let's work for repeal today, go ahead. It ain't repeal. It just doesn't work. After 2012, then, got to start. Unfortunately, by that time, the states will be so far down that path that if you try to repeal what they're already implementing, I mean, you're going to have, Alan has talked about the problem with the states already, you're going to have states imploding. They're already going to have to invest so much in going with healthcare. They're not. So only the Supreme Court, in my view, can change us off that. So you want a Republican president in the United States that can manage this and will actually do some of the things, again, that Alan talked about, is we got to get the cost out of the system. We're taxing to support this, but what we need to do now is go back and deal with the cost issues. And that's the number one reason for, in my view, maybe number two, because the taxes are all number one. Number two reason for a Republican president is to get cost under control in the healthcare system that's going to come on board. Number one reason is about taxes. Taxes are going up. And I mean going up. And, I guess the best I can say is you might as well be progressive, if you're not going to be anything else in this regard, is that the tax increase is necessary. Bless their hearts, if they're going to do them on people with over $10 million in income, as opposed to everybody below that. And, up until 1986, we used to have a high tax rate on the top. It was only 1986 that we started the race that went below 50% at the top. I think you're going to see at the end of this deficit commission, there's Alan Simpson is the Republican, Erskine Bowles is the Democrat. They've been charged with the president with a bunch of others to come up with a plan by the end of the year to reduce the deficit. Good luck with that. But it's going to have tax increases. I know our school pretty well. And it's going to have in there, and it's going to have tax increases if you can get it. And I'm sure that it's going to be the kind of thing where it's going to be very progressive.